Good evening, it's Dr. Brennan, day 2 of 150. Today I wanted to go over the concepts of enzymes and how they affect everything. You know, we eat food and we digest it, we break it down, and then it goes into the body and absorbs. We turn it into muscle, we turn it into fat, we turn it into energy, whatever, what say you, hormones, neurotransmitters, etc. And then once those parts and pieces have done their part and it starts turning into waste and we've used it and starts breaking down, we have to use enzymes again to break those things down into a way into small constituent parts that we can get effectively out of the body to clean the body out and to keep the body a smooth, highly efficient operating machine. And enzymes handle each and every one of those steps. Every single one of those things I just was speaking about oftentimes have tens, if not hundreds of steps, which means hundreds of enzymes that help take things that we eat or other environmental factors, whether it's air or drinking water, and it takes the chemical parts and manipulates them into the body to get them to where they need to go and to become what they need to be. And the key here is the enzymes do the work, but they're dictated by our DNA. And our DNA acts like a, here, let me turn here. The DNA acts like a recipe book. So this is a picture of our entire metabolism, well, or close to it. And down here is a list of all the different enzymes that are going on. This is a reference that I use when people have done advanced lab testing with me. And DNA is what tells us how many enzymes we're going to have. It works just like a recipe book, where a recipe book tells you, 1, which type of food you're going to make, and 2, how much of it. Same thing with DNA. What enzyme are we making and how much of it? And so what that does is imagine that if you have more enzymes, you have more doors. There's more lanes on the highway to take traffic from one step to the next. And so therefore, if you have less enzymes than the person standing next to you because your recipe book doesn't have the high-level recipe that they have, then that really highly affects your overall ability to optimize and adapt to your environment and your surroundings. So how do we decide which recipes we have? We know that for each gene we got 2 traits, one from mom, one from dad, and there's thousands of genes programming, thousands of enzymes, and it's the epigenetics that handles this process, the decision making, and it works just like a sleeve over the DNA. This is an oversimplification, but it's good enough for what we're talking about, where the parts that are covered are genetics that are not expressed, and the parts that are uncovered are the genes that are able to be expressed, which are the recipes that end up being cooked and changes how your body functions, whether that's building things up, breaking things down. And how that's relevant to the 150 days is this is a concept that I'll refer to often about when we're talking about weight loss. You're breaking down fat and getting it out of the body, or why we're stopping putting certain things into the body because it builds up into fat or supports fat production. Same thing with muscle, same thing with energy in general. Where does it come from? How does it get moved around in the body? It's all about the enzymes, which is dictated by the DNA, and DNA is dictated by the epigenetics, and the epigenetics dictates based off of what the environment is. Again, that's when I change how much I exercise, how I exercise, how much I eat, how I eat, what I eat, what nutrition I'm taking. All these decisions add up into creating the environment that the epigenetics are reading, so then they can turn around and help you optimize your DNA expression in the body. And that's just one way for long-term holding. Instead of just doing a 10-day weight loss issue, this is a concept that goes a long ways for everybody that's had issues losing weight, like maybe the way they used to, or if you've never been able to lose weight well, or if you're somebody who wants to aesthetically have more muscle mass and be more aesthetically pleasing to your liking, then the inability to gain muscle the same way that some of your counterparts, friends, other people at the gym are, could be a possible genetic issue that might be able to be changed if you can change the expression of the DNA to a different recipe that you do have. Now, you are set with certain recipes. You're never going to create new ones in your book, but there might be better recipes that your body's not deciding to use, and that's where it comes into play. It's an important concept just because it underlies absolutely everything. You know, when I'm working with the toughest of the tough, I'm going into, you know, the depths, and I'm looking for those specific enzymes over here that are making the difference, you know, with inflammation and pain and oxidation, things like that. But when you're talking about weight loss and cleansing, that's equally important because you are more or less shotgunning larger life changes that push certain enzymes, certain activity in the body to create certain outcomes. And so hopefully that helps everybody get more or less a crash course on what's going on inside the body at a chemical level. And, you know, tomorrow I'll be back for number 3.